What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a little bit of a bittersweet moment for me as I have decided to get rid of the Ninja 500. In my personal opinion, that wasn't a very easy decision to make because I really enjoy this bike. I really love this bike. It's a ton of fun. But for the longevity of the channel, I want to check out some new bikes coming out on the market, and I only have so much garage space. So we're gonna get this thing sold. We got somebody coming to pick it up today. But before doing that, I wanted to do a little video comparison of the 24R7 and the 24-500, as these are some of the bikes that people want to know if they're a great beginner bike and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna give y'all some of the key differences, in my opinion, on both of these bikes now that I got some miles under both of them. So let's take a look at both of them.
Ladies and gentlemen.
First thing is first, we're going to go with kind of the appearance of these two bikes. And we're just going to point out some of the quick, easy things you can kind of tell. Kind of set up pretty much exact same here. You can see the gas tank on the R7 is obviously, it's a lot longer. I think it's a little bit shorter than the Ninja 500 one. You can tell the difference in the seats here. The R7 seat is much bigger than the 500. You can see the R7 is about a foot or so longer than the Ninja 500, but the R7 has a much more sport bike aggressive stance, if you will, than the little Ninja here. Your butt's a tire on the seat on the R7 than on the Ninja, and your feet sit a little bit higher on the pegs as well. So one of the biggest things I don't like really is the handlebars. These things are at like a -7 degrees, so your hand kind of like slopes down. It gives it the real aggressive sport bike kind of feel. You have to kind of like lean over the bike a little bit more, rather than if you kind of look at the Ninja 500. You know, these handlebars sit a lot higher, so you're sitting up a lot more. So it kind of just depends on your preference. If your ultimate goal at the end of the day is to hop on like a sport bike, a leader bike, something like that, the R7 is definitely going to be kind of like a good starter bike. It'll give you that same feel a super sport is going to kind of give you, not quite as much, but a little bit more than obviously the Ninja. This definitely rides like a beginner bike and all that good stuff. So all right, but moving on, obviously bigger rear tires. I think these are R7 has 180s, I believe, and 150s for the Ninja. So definitely got some bigger tires. You can tell the difference in the shock, maybe. See, this has a small preloaded shock there. This has like a much bigger one. And then for the fronts, I think these are what are these, 110s, I think? 120, sorry, 120s on the front of the R7, 110s on the Ninja. I really like the R7s come with S22s. Yeah, S22s. Some pretty good tires to kind of start out with, I guess, if you will. I really like that these have, R7 has Brembos. Also, if you noticed on a previous video, you can see I have the stock exhaust back on the R7. We did toss a cheap eBay aftermarket exhaust on the R7, and it was insanely loud. The video did not do it justice whatsoever. I had earplugs in with a helmet on and everything, and it was still just like rattling my head so much. Anything over like 2,000 RPMs, or I'll say 50 miles an hour, was just almost unbearable. So we quickly took that off, and we do have another exhaust coming in for it. So we'll check that one out and see how that one turns out. All right, just to get a little bit of a better visual of like your riding position on these two different bikes. Like I said, this one you're going to be kind of like a little more forward and your butt a little back more. So you're going to be kind of leaning forward more, and your legs or your feet are going to be up a little bit higher to give you that more aggressive kind of sport bike feel ride type of deal on the R7. Rather than on the Ninja, your feet are down a little bit more and you're kind of sitting more up when you're grabbing the handlebars here. So you're at a more upright kind of position. To me, I really like this riding position. Too far forward, you know, on the R7, you're kind of like this most of the time, rather than on this one. you can just kind of relax and kind of ride down the road, sitting more straight up. Definitely be mindful of the riding position on these two bikes. Again, it's just depending on where you're trying to go. At the end of the day, moving on to the two different dashes here. It's kind of bright out. We'll see if we can't see this well enough. So we got 2,300 miles on this one. Nothing special about this dash at all. You got a couple of things you can go through: trip A, trip B. Your miles per gallon when you're currently moving, your average right now, and then the range, which doesn't work well at all, that I've stated in the previous videos. But yeah, so like I said, nothing special about this one. And then as far as the R7 goes, you can see this one is kind of tough too. So we only got a little under 600 miles on this one right now. To switch through the things aren't on the screen like the Ninja. You can switch through this little button here. Pretty much all the same stuff. Your air temp, 55, a little chilly out. You got your average miles per gallon currently when you're moving, and then the mileage, trip A, trip 1, trip 2, whatever. But again, nothing special really about either one of those. I mean, they look good or whatnot, but not a whole ton of features. Rather, the 500 does have a Rideology app that you can download on your phone. You can do a lot of pretty neat things with that, kind of track like your trips, a little more detail, how far you went, what your miles per gallon at that time was, all kinds of neat stuff. You can actually check that out, like I said, the Rideology app for the 500. I had a little bit of an issue when I downloaded it. Like it connecting to the bike, it took a little while to kind of like connect. It just didn't want to connect. It didn't want to pick the bike up. And I did a bunch of research on it, and I did exactly how it said, but it just would not pick the bike up, and it would not load with the bike. So not sure what really was going on there, but I eventually did end up getting it, and I think I used it once, and that was pretty much it. So, all right, and for the R7, one thing I do like is you can GP shift this one pretty easy if you know what that is, instead of the one down, 5 up. It's kind of reversed. It's 1 up and 5 down. You couldn't really do that for the Ninja, but I did put a quick shifter on that, so you know it is what it is. But I just personally prefer upshifting, clicking down. It's just much easier. The front end of both of these bikes, I really like both of them. I can't say one's better than the other. They both look pretty sharp. However, the R7 does have some pretty cool like BRLs. Let's see if we can pick it up. Let's turn it on real quick. It's kind of daytime. It can't really pick it up, but it has some pretty neat little DRLs here on the sides. They look kind of cool at night. Ninja don't have that, but the front of the Ninja looks pretty sharp for an entry-level bike. Also, going back to the brakes on the R7, the front has dual, I guess you would call it like discs on each side. The 500 does not, just has the single on that. That's pretty cool because it has a ton of stopping power with the front brakes. So one other little thing I wanted to mention between the two bikes, if you look on the Ninja, you can see the kickstand kind of goes out and forward quite a bit. On the R7, it, however, does not. It does a little bit, nothing like the Ninja. As you can see, my driveway is ever so slightly slanted, nothing crazy. But if you stick to the end of the video, I'll put a little clip. I just about dropped the R7 in the driveway. I did kind of, however, get off of it at a little bit of an angle, and I kind of pushed with my hand, so it kind of lifted it up just enough to where the kickstand went to slide out from underneath it. But I caught it, luckily. Luckily, it's fairly light. I was able to catch it and save it from hitting the ground. So keep that in mind if you have any type of driveway with a slope or anything like that, and you go to put your kickstand down in the driveway. But that is enough blabbing about some of the key differences between these two bikes. It is freezing out here, but I'm going to toss this up on a time lapse. I'm gonna get both of these bikes cleaned really good because they both need a good clean. And we're about to sell this. I don't want to give somebody a dirt bike. So we're gonna get everything cleaned, get the chains cleaned. And then we're gonna take this 500 for one more little ride, fill it up for the new owner, bring it back.
Now that it is 4 degrees out, let's take this thing for a ride. Actually not that cold out here. Not as cold as I thought it was going to be. When am I going to miss this bike? I'm gonna run over here to the little good old Circle K, fill up on some fuel, pull out in front of all these cars. Just kidding, they're really far back there. I was turning there too. Sing pops a lot. Go car. I'm not risking that. Oh yeah, you went really slow too, buddy.
Alright guys, that is going to be it for this video of the 24 Kawasaki Ninja 500s to the 24 Yamaha R7s. Both bikes are absolutely great in my personal opinion, so I couldn't really tell you which one to pick. But if it were me and I had to choose one of these two, to be honest, I would probably pick the Ninja 500. I have so much fun on this thing. It's just so light. It's short. The riding position is super comfortable. Yeah, it's just a ton of fun. It's super light. You can whip it around and all that good stuff. The R7 is a little bit more bigger, a little bit bulkier, longer, all that good stuff. It rides a little bit more like a super sport, kind of in that direction, when the Ninja 500 doesn't really kind of go down that way. You know, your handlebars are a lot higher, all that good stuff. Seats a little bit lower, pegs are a lot lower. And then everything over here, it's completely different. Your handlebars are farther down, your seat's farther up, your pegs are farther up. So you kind of lean over a little more and you ride more like a sports bike. But like I said, I have a ton of fun on this Ninja. It's going to be really, really tough to get rid of this thing. But for the longevity of the channel, I would really love to get some newer bikes in, 25 models, and kind of going forward, check out some newer bikes, and bring some kind of fun, enjoyable content to you guys, making videos on those bikes as well, and getting an opportunity to check new bikes out, kind of fill all those out and everything. So I can't tell you about a ton of bikes, but these two particular bikes I can tell you a little bit about. Like I said, I just love the Ninja. It's a ton of fun. Hate to get rid of it. Next owner is going to absolutely love it. But as always, guys, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, got some more content coming for the R7. So make sure to subscribe, Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions on some new bikes to try out, Dad, I have a couple in mind with possibly the CF Moto 675, kind of bikes like that. I'd really like to check those out. That thing looks kind of like super futuristic and all that. But I am up for some better suggestions if you leave me a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, ride safe. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.
I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable.